Hello, Joanne.
Good morning, Bernard. Yes, we were talking yesterday, then we were going to talk some more, but both of us quickly realized this is something other people might like to hear, and it's always best fresh, right? The first time.
Absolutely.
So we literally stopped our conversation yesterday afternoon
But-
and decided.
Yeah, and decided to do this. So what we're doing, my friend, and I don't know if you guys know about this movie, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Mrs. Galloway went to Washington. Mrs. Galloway went to Washington, and I don't know how the trip went, and I'm super curious, and I'm sure you'll be super curious. Joanne, can you tell us? Well, one question is, why did you go to Washington?
Literally farmers from across the state being given the space to learn more about policy and what's happening, to hear from elected representatives or department heads, and then also they schedule and set up meetings with all of the congressional delegation from across the state, and then also have the senators in to speak to the group as well. So so that was the opportunity. Okay, so anyway, our County Farm Bureau, let us know that they were looking for someone, two people to represent them in Washington, D.C. as a part of this Washington legislative event. And I actually had attended back in 2008 when we were farming in northern Michigan. And so I raised my hand, and I think one other person expressed interest, but they had gone last year. So they said, "Oh, if you've got somebody new that would like to go, absolutely send them." So we came in on a Monday evening, and then the registration was the next morning, starting at 10:30, and our first coordinated event with Michigan Farm Bureau was at noon on the Tuesday. And so the first event was they provided lunch. So we started getting to know people, and then they did presentations on. So I love how they provide the guidance on through the grassroots leadership. They've identified like what the key issues are for Farm Bureau members across the state, and they narrow that down to three subjects.
And what are those?
Three tracks. So the three tracks that we were working on advocating for while we were out there, one fell under the taxation category, another was under the Farm Bill category, and the third one was, now you got me. Taxation, Farm Bill is the one that we were in. Oh, labor.
That's a big one.
Farm labor.
That's a big one.
Labor, yeah.
Yeah.
Like don't quote me on these, but like your H-2B program or H-2A or those special programs that are, legal routes for legal workers, right?
Yes.
And a separate issue, even though it oftentimes gets mixed up in it, a separate issue from immigration.
Oh, yes. I'm so glad you mentioned that. It is a separate issue from immigration.
And that's one thing I appreciate about Farm Bureau as an organization is that they are guiding their members to understand that they're two separate issues. No problem. So dinner really served as a great opportunity. We were divided by issue track, right? So Gary and I had each signed up for the Farm Bill issue track. And so the whole room of people at our dinner location then were people that had signed up for the Farm Bill track.
Okay.
So now I was at a table with, 6 or 7 other people that I hadn't been at a table, at lunch with. And it was a great opportunity to, continue to meet farmers across the state. Earlier in the afternoon, there was a couple questions that were asked when they were going over the different issues that came from somebody on the far side of the room that I couldn't see. But I knew as I heard this voice and heard what they had to say, that they were coming from a different viewpoint than what many in the room would have been coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured out later that this was one of the people that was at my dinner table. And a black man with a man bun. And that's who was on the far side of the room asking these questions that I appreciated, but knew that they probably weren't coming from somebody who was, white and
Outstanding.
yeah. The other thing that was interesting that I didn't catch on the first day when they went over like the schedule, so it was just the morning of the day we'd be having these meetings, that I realized that there wasn't somebody at the Washington Legislative from every congressional district. So they took, I think there was like 3 congressional districts that didn't have anybody there. And so like I'm in CD7, and they had us also meet with the representative from Congressional District 10 because there was nobody from Congressional District 10 with us there. And that is Representative John James Story.
Okay.
And because stories are what moves people to action, right?
Correct.
Like, really, yeah. And so for our Congress people to hear how the policy actually affects each of us as individuals, or a proposed policy would benefit us, or whatever it might be. So as that speaker spoke, I crafted my story, because going into this, I thought, well, I'm in a little bit of a different spot here in that we were full-time farmers, and now I'm just kind of like in this like hobby potential, starting a little bit of an urban farm type of thing. Mm-hmm. And like, what would I have to bring to this? But, I quickly developed a story. I participated in the USDA Season Extension Program, which is a part of the EQIP program, which is part of the conservation title of the Farm Bill.
Okay.
And if they're not passing the new updated Farm Bill, the future for someone else following after me wanting to have that same opportunity is, hanging out in the wind, not knowing exactly what the future of that opportunity is going to be.
Right.
So I was able to craft that story and tell that story, and then a couple other people in our groups had, one had a story about taxation, specifically around the inheritance tax, and how they're talking about changing the limit on when that is charged.
Okay.
Which could greatly affect, transitioning from one generation to another, and whether people can actually afford to continue to farm or not.
Right.
And so that was really interesting. And then another person in our group from Shiawassee County, here just east of Lansing, has connections with people that have good-sized dairy farms and have, employees under the H-2B program or whatever that is. And one morning, went out for milking time, and their employees were gone.
As our friend, you're amazing as always. I want to thank you for getting up early this morning on a Saturday and speaking with me. Just to remind everybody, my name is Bernard Page. I am the marketing and event management company that works with Michigan Country. Thank you, Joanne, for allowing us to support you and represent you in the marketplace. I'm here at my facility here in Aurora, Illinois. God bless technology. We can do this.
I know, I love it. Yeah. Absolutely. Yep, and I just wanted to say that Michigan Country was founded in 2023. We really got off the ground in late 2024. Our mission is bringing people together. We work in targeted rural communities in Michigan. And in 2024, we really focused on bringing people together around being informed voters. And our future and how we bring people together really centers around the people that come out to meet us as we come to the rural communities. And we'll share, what resources we can bring. And we'll be looking to see what's important to people, like what's keeping them up at night, and what can we help them with in their particular communities. So thank you again, Bernard, for your time and all the great work that you do for us. And we appreciate every bit of it. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Say goodbye, Joanne.
Goodbye, Joanne.
Bye-bye, everybody.